So there's this really weird thing happening in Indian cricket right now that has everyone scratching their heads. We've got this star player, right? But he's been in a bit of a slump, a string of low scores. And then he gets a promotion. It's a total contradiction, and it's got everyone asking one simple question. I mean, how on earth does a player who's struggling for runs not just keep his spot, but actually get a promotion to vice captain? You look at it and it just doesn't make any sense. But trust me, there's a very specific plan at work here, and we're about to break it all down. All right, let's dive right into this conundrum. Because on one hand, you have Shubman Gill's pretty rough form in T20 internationals. But on the other hand, you have this massive public vote of confidence from the team management. So how do you square that circle? How do those two things exist at the same time?
Okay, so to really get why so many fans are up in arms, you've got to look at the stats. And let me tell you, the numbers, they don't lie. This isn't just a case of him being unlucky in a few games. We're talking about a clear trend here, and it's pretty hard to ignore. And that right there is the key. The criticism isn't about one or two off days, it's a pattern. For a good while now, those big explosive scores we expect from a top-order batter, they just haven't been there. Think about it. In T20 cricket, your opener is supposed to set the game on fire. An average in the low 20s across a whole year? That's a massive red flag. It tells you that he's consistently missing out on those big, match-winning innings that you absolutely need at the top. You can almost see the story of his year play out. It started with some quiet games, not much impact. Then it moved into that really frustrating phase where he'd get a start, look good for a bit, and then get out. And it all kind of boiled over with that golden duck against South Africa. That was the moment that just amplified all the criticism. Now, Gill's performance isn't happening in a vacuum. The whole debate gets way more intense when you look at the other guys who are just hammering on the door, trying to get that opening spot.
Just look at this, a side-by-side comparison. It's pretty stark. You've got Yashasvi Jaiswal, who's averaging more and scoring way faster. And then there's Abhishek Sharma, who has just been on another planet in domestic cricket, playing this fearless, ultra-aggressive brand of cricket. You put Gill's numbers next to theirs and, well, they just don't really stack up.
And here it is visually. This is where you see the biggest difference. In today's T20 game, an opener's strike rate is everything. That gap you see between Gill and the other two, that's not just a number on a chart. That represents a completely different level of pressure on the opposition in those crucial first 6 overs. All right, so with all this data staring us in the face, screaming poor form, how do you explain the promotion, right? This is where the whole thing pivots from just looking at performance to trying to understand the strategy. In this decision, it's classic Gautam Gambhir. It's all about his long-term vision. This quote, this explains everything. For a coach like Gambhir, it's not about what you did in your last 5 innings. He is looking at the bigger picture, a player's character, their ceiling, their potential. He sees Shubman Gill as a future cornerstone of this team. And if you followed Gambhir's career as a captain and mentor, this is totally on brand. He is famous for backing players based on his gut feeling. He doesn't just see a T20 opener in Gill. He sees a future all-format captain for India. He's more than willing to take some heat now if he believes there's a huge payoff down the road. So that brings us to the vice captaincy itself. It's not just a title they've handed him. No, in this specific situation, it's a powerful strategic tool that's actually doing 2 jobs at once. So what's the vice captaincy really doing here? Well, it's a 2-for-1 deal. First, it officially puts Gill on the leadership track, grooming him for the future. And second, and this is probably the most crucial part right now, it acts as a shield. It becomes much, much harder to drop your vice captain, which buys him the time and the security to play his way back into form without constantly looking over his shoulder. And this is really the heart of the whole argument, isn't it? For the fans who are looking at the raw numbers, it's easy to see this as favoritism, like he's being protected. But from inside that team bubble, from the management's point of view, this is just smart, long-term asset management. It's an investment in a player they truly believe will be a superstar for years to come. So there you have it. Management has pushed all their chips in. They've bet the house on Shubman Gill. They've looked past the short-term numbers and backed their long-term vision. The only question that matters now is a simple one. Will this huge gamble pay off? We'll have to wait and see.